Hey guys, so I want to shoot a really quick video here before I put the head gasket on and show a step that is often overlooked. People are putting these engines together, and it is an understandable thing to overlook. And a lot of models of cars, like all Hondas, when I used to work on them, the 1.6 liter Civics, you'd put the head gasket on, and that's all you'd need to do, because the head gasket was, shall we say, complete. It sealed everything, the oil and the coolant. Toyota, there's an extra step. So when you put your head gasket on, right, I'll show you what that looks like. This head gasket here. By the way, you want the engine code to be facing up. When you put the head gasket on, oops, let's get that on correctly. Have it sit here. This head gasket does not seal oil all that well from the inside of the timing cover. And so what Toyota calls for is a layer of seal packing from here. You put a bead from this spot here in the manual all the way over to this spot here in the manual, 4 to 7 millimeters on the underside of the gasket. So you're going to run it right along here, and then the gasket sits down and sandwiches it. They then call for the same bead on the top of the gasket. So you'll have another bead here, 4 to 7 millimeters. Okay? And they tell you to, wipe off the excess when you torque it down. Then, when you put the timing cover on, in the timing cover manual section, it shows you putting another bead from here and here out. So from this spot out and this spot out. This way, the oil that's coming around here does not seep out, doesn't get up through this area, up and over this, and leak out back here. I don't know why it is that you couldn't just put a bead all the way across. I'm probably going to do that this time. I don't see any reason why. I'm just going to, just to be safe, I'm going to make sure there's a thin amount of gasket sealer there just to keep the oil from leaking out. But the point of the video is, if you're doing a head gasket on the 2TR and you do not do that step, which could be easy to misunderstand if you've done other vehicles, you've worked on other makes and models where you didn't have to apply that kind of thing, you just put the gasket on and go, the car is going to run fine, but when you turn it on and start running it, you're going to notice an oil leak real quick here. It'll be on the side. It'll look like your timing cover's leaking, but it's actually coming out here, assuming you sealed the timing cover correctly. It's going to be kind of pissing out the back, dripping down, and you'll have an oil leak there. So just make sure that you put on the seal pack and stuff when you do the head gasket. Easy step to overlook. It's not necessary on a lot of brands, and so if you bought yourself a long block, a short block and a head, and you're putting it together yourself, or you're just doing what I'm doing and doing a kind of a head job, make sure you put that on there. Super important, because if you don't, you get it all together, this whole thing has to come apart again for you to do that. And once a head gasket's been torqued, man, you'd have to get another head gasket. The whole thing, head has to come off like over it's kind of like putting flashing on a roof. It's a 5-second step that you'll have to do the entire thing over again if you don't do it. So be sure you put the form in place gasket on there. It's this stuff here, seal packing, form in place gasket.